Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to Race 2 of this doubleheader for Superspeedway Kingz as we get ready to go green here on the Speedway. And my name is Dawson Wise. I'll be bringing you all the action. They're live again on PGR eSports. Share the link out right now. It's Race 2 of tonight's doubleheader. The field mostly the same. We'll get into the changes here in just a moment. We will go ahead and kick it trackside. We're going quickly here to start this one tonight as we get you trackside. Qualifying about to be on the racetrack, and it's awfully convenient timing that we bring in the owner of PGR eSports before we get going tonight. Real quickly, Michael Triscaro. And Mike, you know, before we go green, a great race one, a barn burner, and as we get ready to go for race number 2, I can't wait. I know you guys can't wait. You know, you and Jimmy were raving about the first race. What are you expecting here out of race 2?
Yeah, man. Hopefully some good 3-4 wide action. It looked like I'd like to see a green flag stop. I'm pretty positive there's less fuel in this one. It's not 100% fuel, so we should get the green flag stops. I think that'll help obviously the product on the track and spread things out just a little bit. But you know, like that first race, we got that first caution, and just like in real life, cautions breed cautions, and a little bit too many as a race controller to see. But I'm hoping here we got actually really good field here in the second race. So hopefully we can improve on that first race and make another photo finish here tonight.
Well, yeah, great photo finish. You know, we're first time now tonight broadcasting both races of Superspeedway Kingz, and I was talking to Cody earlier about the level of talent that we have in this series and how much, you know, we kind of want to value having both of these races live. Because this field is so stacked, because it's so loaded, and we'll get to how loaded it is in a minute when we get to the starting lineup. But, you know, kind of take me through your perspective. You know, being in the race control booth, watching a field like this, having, you know, some of the best in superspeedway racing, you know, from your perspective of being a race controller.
Yeah, it's definitely a different thing for me. Usually I'm on the track with these guys, some of the same guys that are racing here tonight. You see the different aggression from the Coke Series drivers. You got Garrett Maines in here tonight. You got Malik Ray. I know Kyler Wynn and Cody Neagles, they won the big events this year in Super Speedway. You just see the different uptick in aggression from those drivers, especially, you know, when they have to come from the back for some reason. So, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, sometimes they push that needle a little bit too much. You know, there's still a lot of us average Joes, you know, some good drivers in the field, but, you know, still aren't used to that type of pushing or aggression. And sometimes, you know, pushing the pusher, you know, whether you're the third car in line or the third, you know, truck in line, whatever it may be. You know, we saw that in the first race where Kyler Wynn was pushing Cody. Cody was pushing, I think it was Kevin Freeze. And then Alex Hill comes in, pushes him, and ultimately it turned Kevin Freeze from the lead. You know, so a lot of aggression from these top tier drivers, something I got to keep an eye on and try to combat that just a little bit so we have some clean racing. But overall, I'm looking to have a great race here tonight with some top tier drivers. And, you know me, I'm always cheering for the underdog story. So hopefully we can get a first time winner here tonight.
Well, absolutely, we hope so. We'll let you go prep for race control, kind of get your head right here before we get going. Good luck, obviously, up in the booth trying to corral this group of really talented drivers. We will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll bring in now the race promoter and owner of Superspeedway Kingz. Hopefully, real quick for an interview. I know he just dropped down there with Mike, but hopefully we don't interrupt him real quick. Jimmy Crow, Jimmy, we're about to get going for another one. Man, a barn burner in race one. I got to imagine you were happy with what you saw on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, I knew it was a good race when we had this long of a gap in between the two races. So, yeah, we had a good green flag run in that first one. Got a little ugly there for a minute, but to get out of there with that many trucks and only 4 cautions, I can live with that. Hopefully, race 2 will be another good one.
Well, absolutely. Real quickly, before we let you go down and kind of get prepped for the race here, obviously helping out Michael Triscaro a little bit in the race control booth, kind of take the viewers through the idea for Superspeedway Kingz, bringing together some of the best from several different realms of iRacing and Superspeedway racing specifically, all on the same track. Kind of take us through, the inspiration behind it, what goes into, the fields that we get in these races.
Well, first of all, my passwords tonight were in honor of 2 Superspeedway Kings, Gabe Butler and the late LG Whaley. Them 2 guys, Gabe Butler, he was a part of the Superspeedway community before I got on iRacing, and SSK Superspeedway Kingz, it's just the whole Superspeedway community. I've dabbled in the money scene, I've dabbled in the league scene, the hosted scene. If it's Superspeedway and there's talent, I've pretty much been blessed to know them and bring them in. And I want to thank also the driver sponsors who have allowed me to bring in the talent that necessarily don't gamble or and all that, but they're good racers, and it helps the
Welcome back into PGR eSports. Some technical difficulties here with the iRacing connection, so we'll get you back trackside here shortly for the beginning of race 2. Imagine we'll miss the start. We'll get you updated on who's in the field, kind of who's different from race 1 to race 2. A lot of guys the same field. We'll get you back here momentarily to race number 2 of Superspeedway Kingz. Apologies for the technical difficulty, but we'll be back here in just a moment as we get ready to go green for race number 2 of Superspeedway Kingz. And right on time it is for race number 2. As here we go. Green flag will go in the air, and we are underway for race 2. Boy, we cut that close. Green flag is in the air. We're racing from Talladega. Coming back to the start-finish line to complete lap number 1, it will be Alex Hill and Andrew Navarro. Similar to race 1, they're back in race 2, and they're leading the field down towards turn number 1 as lap 2 goes on the board. We'll give you an idea briefly here of who is different from race 1 to race number 2. Most of the top guys are the same. The first new driver in the field, a familiar name. You'll see the orange College Series banner aboard the Embry-Riddle, number 87 Ford F-150. That's Austin Green on the inside, 6th in line. One of my broadcast colleagues here with PGR eSports. He's in the race here tonight. A rare appearance in one of these big money races for the 87, but he is in the field in tonight's race. Also in the field, it was not in the field before. We'll go through and give you some of the names. Matthew Baker, our race controller on Thursdays, and again, one of my broadcast colleagues helps call the Monday Dega Pros Little Guys series. He is in the field, 2 cars back of Austin Green on the inside, the maroon and gold Coasting Thunder Chevrolet. He's in the field. Chad Ross in the 40 is in the field here in race number 2. Dustin Carruthers in the 10, part of the KSR train. He is in here as well. Billy Rickett is in the field tonight in race number 2. Joe Huerta is in the field in race number 2 in the 24 and 28 respectively. Sierra Clampert is here in the 23. Joey Allen is here in the 32. Garrett Maines is here in the 47 on your timing and scoring. Travis Noble, Brian Hennings are in the field as well. Those are the drivers different from race 1 to race 2. And 3 wide, hot and heavy already. Here comes Jason Maines up on the outside. The Premier Racing Setups, MCU Body Chevrolet Silverado. On the outside, pushed by the Premier Racing Setups Chevrolet, the Podium 500 champ Kyler Wynn, who had a nice showing in race number 1. He's hoping for the same in race number 2. So far, all is well for the driver of the 82 up top. And he's got Hunter Reynolds along with him also back here for race number 2. Along with them up top, Kenny Brady. Actually, he's going to be in the middle here. I believe that might be Malik Ray up on the top side. A little bit different look for him. Not the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet that we got to see in race number 1. A little bit different look here tonight for Malik Ray in race number 2 than we're used to seeing. He is also in the field up on the outside, 4th in line. Up front, though, it's the guy who just won race number 1, Andrew Navarro, who currently leads the field here in race number 2. Now, still very early in the going, but nonetheless, leading so far. Trouble. Anthony English and a couple of others are going to get around. Matt Lee is around right in front of the field, and they go sideways here in the tri-oval. Matt Lee clobbered by John Mullahan. Dylan Jones is involved as well. It looks like Joe Huerta may have been involved, and a couple of others. Caution flag for the first time tonight. And this one started with Matt Lee in the 0-4. We'll try to get an idea. He's way up here close to the front. He ends up close to the back. An early incident here on lap number 2. Excuse me, lap number 5. See Anthony English get out of shape after a push from Austin Green. The 87 comes down, collects Matt Lee, who slides back across the track. Anthony English and Adam Kilday actually come together on the bottom side of the racetrack. Austin Green gets into it big time. Dustin Carruthers gets collected there in the middle. See, Osborne's on the brakes. He's going to get collected. Couldn't tell which truck that was that got into him. We'll try to get an idea of that in a moment. But Matt Lee goes sideways. And gets hit a couple times here. Gets hit by Mullahan. You see Sierra clampered off to the rear end of this wreck. Going sideways. Dylan Jones going sideways. A few different trucks involved in this one. Danny Barnes for Hyper Motorsports as well. We'll go high above. You're going to have to here to kind of break down who ended up where in this incident. See Anthony English there out of shape off 4. Gets up close to Kyler Wynn as he overcorrects. He's going to come down and collect Matt Lee. He collects the 0-4 here off turn 4. You see him and Kilday come together there on the bottom side. Kevin Freeze, he's lucky to just get past this one after his luck in the last race. Matt Lee comes together with Carruthers and Austin Green right there. Trevor Osbornoth gets hit from behind from an onrushing truck there behind him. Unsure exactly which truck that was. But Matt Lee goes sideways, gets hit by John Mullahan, gets hit by Danny Barnes. Actually, Danny Barnes going to get hit by, I believe that might be Joe Huerta in that Hyper Ice Toyota Tundra. I believe that is Joe Huerta. So a couple of the KSR trucks here involved in this one early, but Matt Lee collects the brunt of this one. As he got sideways, we'll take one more look at it from the blimp cam. Also up above, a little bit different angle. Keep your eyes on the 44 there in the middle. He goes sideways, collects Matt Lee, and then again, once a truck spins like this right across the onrushing field, it's kind of hard to miss him. Austin Green, who we had just talked about, has entered into tonight's second race. Not a good start for him. As he gets into this one, has to bail down pit road. Adam Kilday, Dylan Jones, and Austin Green actually come together in the grass as well. You're going to see John Mullahan get involved right there. He collects Matt Lee. Sierra Clampert, Sean Corbett right there towards the tail end. You see Jones and Kilday continue to slide through the grass. David Sheets, Tucker McClendon trying to get past it. Mark Math trying to get past it. Josh McCullough as well as Keith Horner. So a few cars trying to make their way on past it that just were not very lucky right there. We had to kind of go back to live manually here, unfortunately. So bear with me here for a moment. We'll try to get this one back to live action. There we go on lap 6. As Vicente Guerrero for Dale Cup leads the way so far. Man, back-to-back impressive qualifying efforts for Vicente Guerrero, a guy who really knows how to get around here in qualifying. That entire Dale Cup team does, and that's why they're running first, third, and fourth as we get ready to go back under the green flag for the second time. So as we get ready to go back to green, it is Guerrero, Navarro on the front row, Hill and Nagels on the second row, Wilkerson and Stamper on row number 3. It'll be Jason Maines, Kenny Brady on row 4, Malik Ray and Hunter Reynolds back on row number 5. 40 laps in this one. Didn't get a chance to tell you about that because I had some technical difficulties. This one will be 40 laps. Actually, we'll go and flash your race info up here just to make it a little bit easier. Actually, I did not get a chance to update that. So it's 40 laps, 45% fuel, so a lot less gas underneath these trucks. Pit stops will become an issue should this race go green for anywhere longer than about 14 laps. That's going to be about the pit range of these trucks here tonight throughout this second race. 1 fast repair still available. 3 green, white checkers are available as well. Everything else the same, but 40 laps and 45% fuel, a little bit bigger payout. We'll get to the payouts a little bit later on in the night. So Navarro, Guerrero are going to lead the field back to the green flag. It'll be 33 laps to go here in race number 2. Again, a barn burner in race number 1. If you didn't get to see that race, go check it out. It's up on the PGR eSports YouTube channel right before this video under the live section. Check it out. Superspeedway Kingz race number 1 was a barn burner and one to remember. So here we go. Green flag getting ready to come back out in race number 2 of Superspeedway Kingz. Guerrero Navarro bring the field back into the restart zone. And let's see what the next segment of this race brings us. Green flag will go back in the air, and up through the gears they go. Off towards turn number 1 goes the field once more in Superspeedway Kingz. Guerrero, nice push on the bottom from Alex Hill. Topside, Navarro, nice push from Cody Nagels, the two that just raced to the finish of our initial race tonight of the doubleheader. Separated by 1/1000th of a second at the line. Navarro beating Nagels, so much so they were so close together that I messed up the race-winning call for Andrew Navarro. But he'll take the win regardless. He went to victory lane in race number 1. First driver that was not in race number 1 here on the racetrack as they run right now would be Matthew Baker, running 13th there. About 7th on the inside behind Kevin Freeze. Beyond him, Billy Rickett, Chad Ross, the next two that did not enter race number 1 that are here in race number 2. 32 laps to go as the field laps by the start. Finish line, bad push from Alex Hill to Vicente Guerrero. They all somehow sorted out. An offset push in the trial allows Navarro to get clear, but man, saves a massive incident there with Guerrero and Hill. Good communication there from those two. Good instincts from Alex Hill to get off the gas. Good instincts from the guys behind him to not cause a massive stack-up that would have caused an incident. Navarro to the bottom, and that allows the top line to roll. And again, these two find each other door to door, elbow to elbow down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch as they climb the banking of turn 3. It's Navarro and Cody Nagels. Navarro is the leader. Nagels now going to be resorted to lead pusher up on the outside line as Navarro jumps back up in front of him. You heard Navarro talk about in a post-race interview, if you caught the end of race number 1, that really the secret to the third line not getting going in that first race, which is why we didn't see a ton of 3-wide action, is because of what Navarro's doing right now, and that is moving back and forth and allowing Cody Nagels and Vicente Guerrero to stay cool. You see how far off Guerrero Alex Hill is right now? It's because the temperatures are starting to get hot underneath the engine of the 77 machine, and he's having to cool them off. And as he does that, it allows the top line to surge because Cody Nagels has a lot fresher temps than Alex Hill does. You're going to see that a lot throughout the night. In fact, Alex Hill might. As we have more technical difficulties there. More technical difficulties coming. We'll get you back to Superspeedway Kingz in a moment. As more connection issues going on in the iRacing side of things. Unfortunately, something that we cannot really control, but unfortunately, iRacing not cooperating tonight. We'll get you back to Superspeedway Kingz in a moment. give that another shot. As again, iRacing is not wanting to cooperate here for race 2. We are under our second caution of the night. And looking down through the running order, appears some more bad luck for Dustin Carruthers, perhaps for several others that were already back there. Matt Lee, Trevor Osborne, Jimmy Reynolds, all potentially involved in this with Garrett Maines as well. Perhaps got involved in this one, but the second caution of the night is shaking up the running order a bit here at the front because Travis Noble and the 48 Ally Chevrolet has stayed out under this caution flag. This is a really interesting call. If it was last race with 100% fuel, completely understandable, makes sense, and probably get you in a position where you can stay up front and be in contention for the win. In a race where you only have about 14 laps of gas, it's going to put you off cycle with the rest of the leaders who pit right around lap 6. It'll put you about halfway off cycle. Imagine he might come down pit road this time to top off the fuel tank. We'll see if he decides to do so as the field comes by. Turn 4 again. And he does turn off the racing surface and come to pit road. That hands the lead over to Kyler Wynn in the 82. So he will lead the field. We'll go back to green just short of halfway, about 5 laps short of the halfway point. Kyler Wynn leads. Vicente Guerrero is second. Andrew Navarro will be third. Alex Hill will be fourth. Cody Nagels and Kenny Stamper, fifth and sixth. Ryan Baste, Kenny Brady, Hunter Reynolds, Josh McCullough. Rounding out the current top 10. Glad to have you here on a Friday night. Again, if you missed race 1, you missed a barn burner. It was a great one from start to finish. Great racing by some of the best in the business, and Andrew Navarro got the job done in race number 1 of what is going to become a regular doubleheader broadcast here on Friday nights. So get used to it here on PGR eSports. We'll have doubleheaders for you every Friday with Superspeedway Kingz, back-to-back races to satisfy the hunger for money racing that I know many of you all have. Satisfy the hunger to watch it, that is. To watch these guys battle, these gladiators of our sport that we've established here. Go to battle here on every Friday night. We'll have both races going forward for you. And when you saw the field in the first race, when you see the field in this one, I can guarantee you it is going to be so worth it to have both of these races live here on PGR eSports. These are the best of the best in the Superspeedway business. You heard Cody Nagel say that a few minutes ago when we got to talk to him after race number 1, that these are the best fields that we see in terms of top-to-bottom talent from all different corners of iRacing, not just the money racing scene. We've had stacked fields, and plenty of them, no less, on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, on Monday nights, for McCullough Motorsports races as well. But when you bring together this specific group with all the league racers, with all the hosted racing ringers, if you will, that come together with the money racing crowd, it really becomes a very talented field. Lap 15 going on the board. 26 laps to go. Superspeedway Kingz Race 2. Green flag is back in the air, and away we go off towards turn number 1. Kyler Wynn, Vicente Guerrero on your front row here for the restart. And as they make their way through 1 and 2, the bottom line surges again off the bumper of Andrew Navarro, but not quite enough to get Kyler Wynn clear. Up in front of the top lane, Guerrero will continue to lead that line down the back straightaway, with Alex Hill, Kenny Stamper, Ryan Baste in tow. So a couple of the KSR train are now up 3rd and 4th, and Kyler Wynn loses the bumper. The rear bumpers come off the 82, and that's going to make it really hard for anyone to push him going into 3, and it causes a stack up and a scramble. We're going to be 3 wide here momentarily as these guys try to sort it out. And up front, Vicente Guerrero is left all by his lonesome. Cody Nagels will go to retrieve his Dale Cup teammate on the bottom side of the racetrack as all of a sudden, look who's up front. It's Kenneth Stamper Racing, flexing some muscle here at the front of the field as they go to the bottom side. Kenny Stamper wants to lead, and so does Josh McCullough on the outside, the 0-1. Look at that clear by the 0-4-3 of Zach Range. Incredible stuff. They took advantage of that stack up in the bottom two lines, and Navarro got the got the rear bumper off of the 82 of Kyler Wynn. They took advantage, and now they've completely flipped the track position. And into turn 3, here comes the boss man at KSR, Kenny Stamper, to the lead in Superspeedway Kingz off turn 4 off a huge push from one of his team drivers, Ryan Baste, in the 73. And they now battle Josh McCullough and Zach Range here at the front of the field. A little bit offset there. Josh McCullough may have to go down and get him, help him out here on the bottom. He does just that. Top line still trying to get together because Kenny Brady can't do much pushing on the back of Kyler Wynn because he does not have a rear bumper cover. Trouble! Wynn got into Ryan Baste, and we're going to wreck big time here in turn 2. The big one has struck. This is 15, 20, 25 cars going to spin to a stop at the exit of turn number 2. And this one started when Kyler Wynn, I believe, made some contact with the right rear of Ryan Baste and got him out of shape, and the big one strikes on lap number 17 with 24 laps to go at Talladega. This one starts back there around the 82 of Kyler Wynn, as he had lost the rear bumper cover of that machine a few moments ago off Andrew Navarro. Now watch this. Not sure. Boy, I tell you, I'm not really sure what the thinking is here from Kyler. I mean, he goes way too far down there in 1 and 2. Collects Ryan Baste, and then it just ricochets its way forward. Alex Hill goes sideways. Vicente Guerrero's involved. Hunter Reynolds gets into the back of Cody Nagels. And then we got to go backwards to try to figure out where this one goes from here. Matt Lee, Hunter Reynolds, Matthew Baker, Kenny Stamper, Zach Range, Malik Ray, Trevin Osbornoff, Sierra Clampert, Dustin Carruthers, Andrew Navarro, Kevin Freeze, Ryan Baste, and they continue to pile up here on the end of the back straightaway. I mean, this continues further back. We'll go back here. There's Clampert getting involved. Danny Barnes. Sean Corbett gets involved, perhaps, there in the 45. This is a massive incident. Wow. So look up ahead at Kyler Wynn. We're going to keep it focused back here on Trevin Osbornoff. You see the contact there between Kyler and Ryan Baste. And look at it ricochet its way forward. Hill gets into Stamper, gets into Range. Those two go sideways. You see Guerrero get involved. Kyler Wynn door checks Vicente Guerrero right there. He's lucky he got away without spinning. Kenny Brady is involved as well. He's got pretty big damage. I mean, this is, you can see in your screen 15 cars. I mean, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 counting Freeze. 13, 14 counting Baste and Range, who spun off our screen. I don't know if there's a camera that's wide enough to see this entire wreck. I'll try to find one for us here, but I physically don't think there is a camera that we will be able to see the entire wreck happen. We'll try the drone cam. Up ahead, Kyler Wynn. There was the contact between Kyler Wynn and Ryan Baste, and now watch this unfold. See Stamper, man, that's a wallop of a hit for Kenny Stamper. Kenny Brady loses the front bumper cover. It's hanging off of his car. And now watch as just cars pile in. Count them on your screen right now. I count 16 cars involved right there in the middle of your screen, driving through the smoke. And kind of lucky, see Danny Barnes getting to Kevin Freeze on the right side of your screen. Kind of lucky that it felt like everybody behind the incident was able to get slowed down. We're going to take one more look really quickly. We're going to go up front to Kyler Wynn. We're going to go right on the back of this car. And this should tell the entire tale as far as how close he got to Ryan Baste. We're going to show it to you from behind Kyler Wynn's car, from right in behind the 82, and you make the call. You be the judge here in turns 1 and 2. So a big pile up past halfway is going to put us under the caution and drastically change the trucks running at the front of the field. As we get ready to go back green with 20 laps to go, a complete shakeup here at the front, and an unfortunate incident that, is going to involve almost half of the field in this race. We started this race with 43. I believe we had 18 or 19 involved in that incident alone. And so with almost half the field now having some damage, having to make some decisions in terms of fast repairs and things of that nature, we will re-rack, restack, and try to get things going. Issues for Kenny Brady. What is going on with the 54? He just came to a stop. So unsure what happened. Some kind of issue on the Kenny Brady machine. And I'm not so sure he's still even on track. Well, now he's back on track. So some kind of issue there for Kenny Brady. And he might just cycle in here at the back as we get ready to go back green. So here we go. We're going to try this once more. And again, this has drastically changed the trucks here at the front of the field. So we'll line them up for you here briefly. Josh McCullough is your leader with Vicente Guerrero on the front row. Teammates Cody Nagels and Alex Hill are on row number 2. It's Matt Lee and Brian Hennings on row 3. Austin Green and Jason Maines will make up row 4. Malik Ray and Chris Carter make up row number 5. So this has completely flipped the track position on its head as a result of the incident in turn 1 that took out about 18 trucks as we get ready to go back to green. 20 laps to go at Talladega and Superspeedway Kingz Race 2. Green flag is back in the air and back underway. They head towards turn 1. Josh McCullough looking to take advantage of that run to the outside that he got with Zach Range. It allowed him to drive to the front and potentially steal away a victory here in Race 2 of Superspeedway Kingz. Vicente Guerrero and Alex Hill looking to deny him Brian Hennings. Imagine the story if he or Chris Carter could get to victory lane here tonight. Will it be one of the money racers? Will it be Cody Nagels, Alex Hill, Matt Lee, Austin Green, Jason Maines, Malik Ray, or others? Will it be one of the league racers? Jimmy Reynolds, Adam Kilday are up there on the outside. They're close to the front. Mark Math, Art Greco, Keith Horner all in pretty good spots right here as we close in on the crunch time portion of the race. Through the trial, will Josh McCullough, Vicente Guerrero continue to lead the way and still only 2x2 most of the way back? 19 laps to go. Still a pit stop to contend with should we need it in the latter stages of this race. Still 2x2 down the Alabama Gang Superstretch. Matt Baker, Kevin Freeze up on the outside first to try the third line. Freeze, one of the best pushers in the game here tonight. And he's up there on the outside. Now they'll need another truck or two to go up there for them to be able to really make that run work. They're making a little bit of hay right now, but again, they're going to need another truck probably to help them out. And they're going to get it. And it's in the form of Kenny Brady. Nagels barely clears up in front of Matt Lee. He jumps up and goes to the race lead, and big surge on the front stretch. It's Dale Cup's Cody Nagels, the ERA Omega Cup Spring Bowl champion that goes to the front. He brings Matt Lee with him. He brings Vicente Guerrero with him, and he's going to bring Alex Hill with him as well. Great run to the front from those four. On to the Alabama Gang Superstretch one more time. Does Matt Lee jump out of line? Yes, he does. He will look for the lead. He'll get a nice, healthy bump from Alex Hill as they head down the back straightaway, and that would allow that line to surge forward. Jimmy Reynolds jumps out. He's going to lead the third line. How about the driver from the OP Racing Premier Superspeedway Series? Jumping out in the outside lane and coming to the front. Malik Ray up out in front of Jimmy Reynolds. He'll go to the far outside now and lead the third lane, and so will Jason Maines. Third lane all of a sudden has a cavalry, and this is kind of what Andrew Navarro was getting at when we were talking to him a minute ago, and it's that you need a number of trucks up there to get it to work. Well, now the trucks start to bail. Again, it'll be Jimmy Reynolds. It's the lead pusher on Jason Maines up in the outside line of the racetrack with 17 laps to go as Cody Nagels and Matt Lee continue to lead the race. Brian Hennings, Malik Ray, Jason Maines, Austin Green, Zach Range all lurking shortly behind the payout spots. We'll get to the payouts in a moment. 3 wide, halfway down the backstretch. Jason Maines leads the top line. The MCU body, number 12, Chevrolet Silverado. Nagels up in front of the middle to the help of Matt Lee. Leaves Vicente Guerrero on the bottom, a chance to cool for the 14, the Budweiser Chevrolet. As he now is on the push of Josh McCullough. Top lane starting to lose some steam. They got as far as the 4th row, but that's as far as they can get. They'll need one more truck to jump out there and help them, and they just can't find it right now. I thought it was going to be Malik Ray. It's not Malik Ray. He's back in line, 5th in line in the middle. As through turns 1 and 2, does Vicente Guerrero potentially get a chance to clear up right here? He thought about it there off of 2, going to allow his teammate to roll back to his outside. Nagels will go even with his teammate. Now we'll go surge past his teammate, and we'll clear back to the bottom here halfway down the backstretch. Matt Lee now leads the middle line with the help of Alex Hill and Brian Hennings. Contact further back, that was Teresa Spiker, and one of the other trucks couldn't exactly tell who that was. Might have been Kenny Stamper. John Mullahan jumps to the outside, coming off a 3rd-place finish a moment ago in race number 1. One car jumped to the outside. That was the Road to Pro driver, Jacob Wilkerson. He jumps to the outside. He's coming to help, and all of a sudden the 3rd line's got a nice surge. They're going to split Jimmy Reynolds out 4 wide. He went too high, flew too close to the sun. They're off turn number 4, and now he's going to go backwards in a hurry. He's up against the safer barrier 4 wide. Lead pusher on the outside's now Matthew Baker in the 5, the Coasting Thunder Chevrolet Silverado. With Kevin Freese 3rd in line, Wilkerson 4th in line. That's a really strong top line, and they're surging to the front. 3 wide, racing for the race lead. And how about Jason Maines? He'll go all the way to the race lead here into 3. Nagels back to the bottom. Baker now even for the race lead up top with the help of Kevin Freese. Contact there between Baker and Maines. He rubbed doors. Everybody no harm, no foul. Jason Maines will get clear of the bottom here, and Matt Baker may be able to drop down to the middle. Maines leaning bottom, staying up. Almost contact, wrecking out back though. And the caution flag will come out, and that should end the pit strategy. And I could not tell. Is one of the cars, I believe it might have been Teresa Spiker at the back. I can't tell who that is. It might be Kenny Brady that got to the inside of the 70. Let's see here, going through the trial. Well, didn't really see this live, so I'll have to take a live look at it here. You see Kenny Brady splits the middle, but so does Kyler Wynn. I think this might be a 4-wide situation. As they got through the trial, you see the run up in the front. This is about 10 rows back of the leaders, and yeah, wow. Contact there between Spiker and Brady. You see they were already almost 4 wide. Brady gets down into Sean Corbett, and this is where it's going to get pretty rough. Corbett hard into the outside wall and collects Chad Ross. He actually disappears there. A very hard hit. Or Chad Ross. Kind of go back and look more into what happened going into the trial. Well, really can't tell from that angle. We'll be able to tell from this one, though. We'll go back a little bit. So look at Kenny Brady in the 54, the Premier Racing Setups truck right in behind Spiker, the blue and pink truck right in the middle of your screen, the 70. Watch the 54, Kenny Brady. I see the gap he's going for here. The gap is there. But Kyler Wynn starts to take that gap as well. They end up 4 wide here momentarily. Kyler actually smartly backs out of it. But unfortunately, as Danny Barnes right in front of him here rolls down the racetrack, Spiker follows him down and gets down into Kenny Brady, who gets into Kyler Wynn, who then collects Sean Corbett. And you'll see the big hit right here before he disappears. So a really big hit there. And another caution flag. Pit stop's done and over with, and that means that the pit strategy is going to all but be obsolete now with 13 laps to go, even with 45% fuel. I mean, these guys might be right on the limit. But, you know, if we were to go into a couple overtime attempts, it would certainly get interesting. So watch out for that. If we get into overtime here, inside 13 laps to go, fuel may become an issue here for the leaders. Guys, I would imagine guys 15th on back or so would probably come back to pit road, top their fuel off, and then come back out and run the rest of tonight's race. So the guys that come back right here should be good for at least one overtime attempt. The leaders should also have theoretically enough gas for one overtime attempt. So we'll get ready to go green here in just a moment. I want to thank everybody that came out to spend their Friday night with us. Great audience here across both races. Another good audience again tonight. Hit that subscribe button if you don't mind, as we try to grow this new network. Oh, man. Whoa, contact on the apron. Kevin Freese and Alex Hill. What's going on there? Whatever the case, as they continue to go back and forth, about 5 cars back in this lead group. But do hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow this brand new PGR eSports network, and as we get into our normal schedule, which includes Monday night's Dega Pros Little Guys series, obviously the championship coming up in 2 weeks, the Tuesday night Thunder series, Ron Morse Racing's Tuesday night Thunder, the PGR eSports Thursday night Superspeedway Intimidator series on Thursdays, and now, of course, Superspeedway Kingz here on Friday nights. Add to that some special events coming up, including the PGR eSports SummerSlam 499, which we'll have more info for you on that coming up in the following weeks. That's going to be a heck of an event. You won't want to miss a minute of that. Going to be the event of the summer. And we'll start getting details to you about that in the coming weeks. But hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to PGR eSports. All live events that are sanctioned by PGR eSports will be broadcast from the new PGR eSports network. Myself, Austin Green, Matthew Baker, Michael Triscaro making appearances as well all throughout the week on the many different races that we do here on PGR eSports. So thanks again for coming out, giving us a little bit of your time here on a Friday night. I know it's starting to get a little bit late here on a Friday night. We're approaching Saturday morning, but we've got business to attend to, and that is the end of this Superspeedway Kingz second race. Bigger payouts, and real quickly before we go back green, we will actually give you an idea of the bigger payouts here. The payouts for this second race: $250 to first, $225 to second, $200 to third, $160 to fourth, $150 to fifth. Great payouts, and right about that 45 entry cutoff number is where we fell in the race entries, so we will pay out similar to those numbers tonight. Somebody's going to be going home with a really nice payday at the end of this thing. So here we go. It'll be 11 laps to go at Talladega. Jason Maines, Matthew Baker, Matt Lee, Kevin Freese, Cody Nagel is your top 5. Rest of the top 10. Excuse me. Alex Hill rounds out the top 5. Rest of the top 10, Cody Nagels, Jacob Wilkerson, Vicente Guerrero, John Mullahan, and Josh McCullough. Here we go. 11 laps to go. Superspeedway Kingz Race 2, the nightcap on PGR eSports, is about ready to go back green. Green flag is back in the air and up through the gears. One more time, a checkup back there around Mark Math and Ryan Bass, but I think everybody scrambled out of the way. No, they did not. Caution flag. We'll come back out. And I'll tell you, nobody listed as crashing, which tells me this is a precautionary yellow flag for the stack up at the back. So we will restack and re-rack and try this one again inside of 10 laps to go when we go back green. So we'll try this again. Again, a precautionary yellow flag thrown for the stack up that you saw with Mark Math and Ryan Bass. Unsure if that was maybe just a quick hit of the button. But nonetheless, we'll go back under the caution flag. And now, this is where it starts to get interesting for the leaders, because they all came to pit road under our last caution here of the night. Well, I thought Jason Maines was going to be saving fuel on the apron. I think they're actually just waiting for the pace car. But nonetheless, as we get into more caution laps, you can save a little bit, but it also runs in more and more of a risk of us going into overtime. And if this race goes into overtime, the leaders are going to have some struggles with fuel mileage. Should we get to an overtime finish, we are seriously going to have to wait on the pace car. You see Jason Maines slow to a crawl here on the exit of turn number 4. As we are still waiting on the pace car. Field starting to roll, so I believe the pace car has caught the field here on the exit of turn number 4. Your truck's starting to get under power, and there is the pace car in the entrance of the trial. So we'll re-rack, restack, and try this one again here in just a moment. Also featured on the PGR eSports YouTube channel, which is where we are live right now, is the Money Stop Podcast, a weekly money racing podcast hosted by Michael Triscaro and co-hosted by Matthew Baker and Ron Morris Jr. with recurring guests throughout the money racing year. Come check it out Sunday nights right here on PGR eSports. There was a great pilot episode a couple weeks ago. There was a great second episode that we had last Sunday night that featured Kenny Stamper, Trevin Osmernoth, the ending of the McCullough Motorsports money race that was that night, as well as a talk about the state of money racing as it is right now, as well as a recap of the NASCAR weekend in Richmond. So go check out episodes 1 and 2. They're already here on the PGR eSports YouTube channel. Episode 3 should be set to go on Sunday night. And that's been a lot of fun, a lot of good conversations. Good to get into the brains and kind of pick the minds of a couple of the most hard-working, the most long-tenured money racers, and Kenny Stamper and Trevin Osmernoth both have been at it for a long time now. It's good to pick those guys' brains and get an idea of their perspective of where money racing is, where it's going, the growth that they've had as a team over at KSR. So definitely go check out episode number 2. It was a lot of fun. Episode number 1 featured Cody Nagels and Garrett Maines. Garrett Maines, of course, the driver in the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Cody Nagels, a prominent money racer, multi-time PGR winner, as well as the Spring Bowl champion for the ERA Omega Cup. So we'll reset the field for you. Jason Maines, Matthew Baker lead on the front row. Matt Lee, Kevin Freeze on row 2. Alex Hill, Cody Nagels on row 3. It'll be Jacob Wilkerson and Vicente Guerrero on row 4. And John Mullahan and Josh McCullough on row 5. Cody Nagels, John Mullahan looking to cash for 2 straight races. And trying to go back-to-back on the podium here in Superspeedway Kingz. Cash in on double payouts tonight. They could really have a nice night. Of course, if you were not around for race number 1, if Alex Hill, currently running 5th, the Blender Chevrolet, the number 77 for Dale Cup, if he wins this race after he won PGR's Superspeedway Series last night, he will win an extra $100 bonus as part of the race bonuses being given away here tonight as part of Superspeedway Kingz. So look for the 77 to be aggressive here on this restart. Try to get to victory lane and get the job done. Earn himself a little bit more money here at the end of tonight's event. 8 laps to go when we go back green. We are approaching that crunch time area of the race where a caution would trigger overtime. Again, a reminder of the overtime rules. 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. The first 2 completely normal. Any wreck will trigger a yellow flag. The third, it's outside the money position, so the battle for those money positions, the race will be left green. Of course, if the leaders make it to the white flag, this race will be official. All right, let's try this again. Jason Maines, Matthew Baker on the front row. Baker looking to steal away race 2 after he was not in race 1. Looking to steal away the victory in race 2. Kevin Freese finds himself with a lot better luck than last go-around. He runs 4th so far. Same with Matt Lee. He runs 3rd. Jason Maines, though, in the best spot of them all, looking out into some clean racetrack here on the restart. Pace car is down. 8 laps to go in Talladega. And here we go. Superspeedway Kingz race number 2 of the doubleheader is about to get wrapped up as Jason Maines brings the field into the restart zone with 8 laps to go. Green flag is back in the air. And away we go. Off towards turn number 1. A bit of a stack up again, but this time everybody able to get away cleanly. We will race into turn 1. 3 cars tandem pretty much on the bottom. Same trying to occur up on the top side. Matthew Baker got the better start, but Jason Maines will get the surge through 1 and 2, but not much of 1. Look at the outside line. They're going to have a huge run here as they come off the banking and onto the back straightaway. Look for some guys to start to go 3 wide. I'm looking back at Malik Ray, Zach Range, Kenny Stamper, Adam Kilday, and a few others. It's actually Keith Horner that goes first. Does he have some help? I believe he might have had the 82 of Kyler Wynn. Zach Range jumps up there in front of Keith Horner, and the third line's already moving. Jason Maines out to the lead. Will he jump up in front of Matthew Baker? Nope, going to stay put on the bottom in front of Matt Lee. Zach Range leads the top line, but they lost more than they gained back there. Kyler Wynn trying to jump out, but the caution flag is out again. Towards the tail end of the field again. And it's more KSR on KSR violence here. Let's see what happens here off turn 4, but I know Ryan Bass, Dustin Carruthers are both involved in this one, so. Devin Ray, unfortunately, not the break he wanted to see for his teammates in the YouTube chat. And the contact is going to start right there around Sierra Clamper with Will Reinl. Clampered up the racetrack into Carruthers, who then collects Ryan Bass, his teammate. They also collect the 88 machine of Art Greco. And really, I think all things considered, those are about the only 3 cars involved in this one. We'll go from high above here on the chopper camera. Watch Sierra Clamper in the 23. She comes down here. 17 runs out of room. They actually net code together, so a lack of contact there. It was more net code than anything. Ryan Bass, Dustin Carruthers collected. And Art Greco in the 88, unfortunately an innocent bystander, as he's going to end up in the outside wall. Off the bumper of Ryan Bass. We'll take one more look at it, and then we'll go back under the green flag. Go from the other angle high above. Again, watch the 23 of Sierra Clamper, the 17 of Reinl on the inside. He's going to run out of room, but they may have made contact anyway. But again, netcode not forgiving. And unfortunately leads to all 3 of those trucks going around. And again, Greco, Bass, and Carruthers, innocent bystanders in this one, as they go sideways into the outside wall. As the caution flag comes out for the 5th time tonight with 6 laps to go, we'll now be inside of 5 laps to go. When we go back under the green flag, now dangerously close to potentially going to overtime in race number 2. You see Jason Maines, Matt Lee, Cody Nagels down on the flat, trying to save some gas, because they know that overtime is going to be hard on their fuel tanks. They were right on the fuel number when they came to pit road with 13 laps to go. They were just short of the window. So they were just barely short of their fuel window. Or excuse me, they were past the fuel window, but they were just inside of the fuel window. So that's why you see these guys going to the apron in the corner, trying to save a little bit extra. Take a little bit shorter way around the racetrack in case this race goes into overtime. They will have enough in the reserve to be able to make it all the way to the checkered flag. however many overtime attempts that takes. We have 3 available. We hope to not use all 3. Again, we'll remind you, the leader gets to the white flag. This race will be official no matter what happens, no matter where they wreck. If it's in the lead, if it's in 35th, we will race it out to the checkered flag no matter what if the leader hits the white flag. If not, 3 overtime attempts await. First 2, normal. Any wreck deemed caution worthy will be resulting in a caution flag and send us to another overtime attempt. The third and final overtime attempt, as I understand it, will be the same as the rules on Thursday nights. If the wreck is inside or just outside the money position, so as we call it, the battle for the money positions, which tonight is top 5, then a caution will be thrown and the race will be over, determined by the moment of caution, the caution lineup, as determined by iRacing. If not, we're going to race this thing out, and that's certainly a whole lot easier way to do this. Really nice audience in the chat. Again, appreciate y'all so much. One more reminder to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, help us grow this channel, this PGR eSports network. We got great things coming. You'll want to stick around in the coming weeks, the coming months. A lot of great stuff, a lot of great content on the horizon. Racing on Monday nights, the Little Guys Series, Tuesday nights with Tuesday Night Thunder, Thursday nights with the Intimidator Superspeedway Series, and tonight, from here on out, doubleheaders for Superspeedway Kingz here on PGR eSports. A lot of great things coming up. Subscribe and stick around. A lot of great things coming in Q2 for PGR eSports Superspeedway Series on Thursdays as well. A lot of great content on the way. Devin Ray in the chat. Devin, good to see you. Kenny Reel in the chat. Kenny, good to see you. Heath Job in the chat. Heath, always good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well here tonight. Logan York as well in the chat. Good to see you. Surprised you're not on the racetrack tonight, Logan, but nonetheless hanging out in the YouTube chat with us. So good to see everybody here tonight on a Friday night. Hope everybody had a good week and is ready for the weekend. Big weekend in NASCAR, Martinsville Speedway this weekend. In the NASCAR Upper Series, I know the Truck Series was racing tonight. Unsure who got the victory there. Xfinity racing tomorrow. Cup racing on Sunday. Another NASCAR weekend going to be in the books here in a couple of days. Business to attend to here, and 4 laps to go remaining here in Superspeedway Kingz. Race number 2 of the doubleheader. Jason Maines, Matthew Baker. Again, will duel on the race start. Who will get the job done? Green flag is in the air. We're back racing at Talladega. 4 laps to go. Another surge into one for the outside line. It's another great run for Matthew Baker on the race start. Up further back, Chris Carter, man, big move to the outside to clear a gap in front of Adam Kilday. He gets up there, though. Third line going to start to roll, and it's immediate. Malik Ray, Chris Carter, Adam Kilday, perhaps Zach Range, and immediately we're on to the big racing here at the end of this race. If they can make it another 2.5 laps, this race will be official. Maines clear of Baker through 3 and 4. They'll see 3 laps to go when they flash by the start-finish line this time around. Baker trying to surge back, trying to rally the troops here on the outside with Kevin Freese, Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero all still in the mix. But it's Maines and Baker on the front row that continue to battle for now. Josh McCullough looks to the outside, nothing doing there, and it'll give Malik Ray another spot in the middle. Oh, that was dangerous right there, Baker and Kevin Freese. Alex Hill makes some contact with Matthew Baker now. A pair of former teammates there inside and outside, but everybody gets it straightened back out. Man, now Matt Lee is getting squirrely off the bumper of Alex Hill. These guys are pushing for everything they're worth. Malik Ray back to the outside. He looked 3 wide. It didn't go anywhere for him. Carter now is going to try to dive back in line, and that leaves Adam Kilday kind of on the wrong end of this. Hill jumps to the outside. Matt Lee jumps to the outside as Jason Maines came down, and a change for the lead up front. It's Matt Lee in the 0-4 that goes to the lead. Alex Hill notably goes to second with 2 laps to go. He may just have a look at $100 extra. Down to the bottom goes Alex Hill to the help of Jason Maines. Matt Lee, will he be able to get clear of the bottom? I don't know if he will or not. Hill's going to get a nice push here from the brand new temps of Jason Maines. Alex Hill, potentially a lap and a half away from glory here in Superspeedway Kingz. Lee and Hill will battle down the back straightaway. They control both lanes right now. Does anybody try to go 3 wide? Adam Kilday looks again. Another truck jumps out with him. That's Dylan Jones. The all-white 16 truck on the outside, but they have nothing doing, no dice. Kilday stuck up there again. Now has to jump back in behind Malik Ray. Up front, still Hill and Matt Lee. 1,000 feet from making this race official and hitting the white flag. Hill clear to the race lead almost. Lee gets a nice surge off turn number 4. Does anybody look 3 wide? Does Alex Hill get all the way home to glory? White flag, 1 lap to go in race number 2. Hill and Matt Lee even, headed to the banking in turn number 1. Alex Hill with a nice push from Jason Maines. Topside's got a nice push from Matt Lee. Alex Hill gets clear of Matt Lee and now has his help all the way down the backstretch and potentially all the way home. Jason Maines to the inside. He wants to win as well. Dylan Jones, Malik Ray go to the outside. Cody Nagels goes to the outside. Does anybody have anything for these front 2? Down the back straightaway for the final time. Door banging between Jason Maines and Alex Hill. Matt Lee, Matthew Baker, Kevin Freese, Jacob Wilkerson, and others in the mix. Kevin Freese to the outside. He jumps in front of Nagels. Baker into the outside wall. Freese, Nagels all get involved. They start to pile up, and the race is on all the way to the checkers. Big wreck out back. Doesn't matter. Who's going to get the job done and win the drag race? Through the trial for the final time, does Matt Lee take a look for the win? He will not. It's glory. He is back. Alex Hill wins race 2 of Superspeedway Kingz. And they pile them up in turn 1, a fitting end to tonight's race. Alex Hill has done it. He's won the $100 bonus. He wins PGR on Thursday. He wins SSK on Friday. And he's going home with $350 total dollars for winning the Double Trouble bonus. And we're going to have to go back and try to work through what all happened here in 3 and 4 because it all started to break loose behind the leaders. And it started with Matthew Baker trying to get clear of the top. I don't think he was clear. And that kind of started some chaos behind our race leaders. We'll go back and really going to have to back it up further than right here. And we'll watch from right about here, and we'll go high above and just kind of get an idea. We'll actually watch from this camera. So watch Matthew Baker. It's a good move. See Kevin? When Cody gets to him, Baker goes to go outside, and right here, it's this push that Matthew Baker just doesn't anticipate and gets across the nose of Kevin Freese. And then it really just all starts to fall apart here at the front of the field. Nagels, Freese get together. Dylan Jones gets together with Malik Ray there on the bottom of the racetrack. They start to pile up. Nagels, Freese, Carter. You see they're 4 wide right there around Zach Range. I think they start to wreck there as well with Hunter Reynolds. See Sierra Clampert, Reynolds, Spiker further back. But then it was all up front. And it was all Alex Hill. And he gets the job done and gets the extra $100 bonus and cashes in big time at the end of Superspeedway Kingz. We're going to go through your finishing results. Stick around. We're going to go get your top 3 for interviews here shortly. But we'll go through your finishing results from Talladega here first. Alex Hill wins race 2 of Superspeedway Kingz and gets the $100 bonus to go along with the $250 race payout. Matt Lee finishes second in the 0-4. And John Mullahan cashes tonight in both races, finishes third in both races. And boy, he's going to go home with almost, I think, might be more of a payout than Alex Hill got. He's going to go home with close to $350 as well. It's a great night for John Mullahan. Jason Maines, unfortunate there. His line ran out of help. He finishes 4th. Jacob Wilkerson rounds out the cash spots there in 5th. Brian Hennings finishes 6th. Vicente Guerrero 7th. Kyler Wynn 8th. Zach Range 9th. And Adam Kilday rounds out the top 10. Malik Ray finishes 11th. Dylan Jones 12th. Kenny Brady 13th. Joey Allen 14th. and Anthony English finishes 15th. Danny Barnes finishes 16th. Josh McCullough 17th. Hunter Reynolds 18th. Andrew Navarro 19th. Ryan Baste in 20th. David Sheets finishes 21st. Tucker McClendon in 22nd. Travis Noble 23rd. Joe Huerta 24th. Jimmy Reynolds 25th. Art Greco 26th. Chad Ross 27th. Teresa Spiker 28th. Sierra Clamper 29th. And Kenny Stamper rounding out the top 30. Austin Green finishes 31st. Sean Corbett 32nd. Matthew Baker 33rd. Kevin Freeze 34th. Cody Nagels in 35th. Chris Carter finishes 36th. Will Reinl in 37th. Keith Horner 38th. Billy Rickett in 39th. And Mark Math rounds out the top 40. Last three cars in the field tonight. Dustin Carruthers finishes 41st. Trevin Osbornoth finishes 42nd. And Garrett Maines shotgun on the field tonight in 43rd. Stay tuned. We're going to go get your top three for interviews. Stick with us right here on PGR eSports. We'll be right back for the post-race show and post-race interviews with your top three. Stay with us. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway. We're going to go now into your post-race interviews, the post-race show here for race number 2 of Superspeedway Kingz. And we'll start with the man who finished in the third position here tonight, and the man who really had the most consistent night of about anybody in the field tonight. And that is the McCullough Motorsports entry of John Mullahan. John, second time tonight. It's Dawson in the booth. You get a copy.
Got a copy, man. Did you keep my seat warm?
Well, I guess I had to. You had a good run again. We kind of talked about you'd been really the most consistent of almost anybody in the field, and it works out. I mean, you cashed twice, and you're going home with a really nice payday when all comes said and done. You finished third again tonight. Bit of a crazier race there, a little bit different from the race we saw in race 1. What went into making this race different from the first one?
Oh, well, man, I mean, we're talking to three-peat here. We're almost $600 in 24 hours. Got collected in that early caution and had to go in. We had over 3 minutes of damage, and it took over 3 pit stops to get that all repaired. Was fortunate to avoid the big one after we did get it fixed, and just kind of worked our way up through the field, and luckily made the right call at the end. You seen the 5-car breakaway coming towards the line, and I decided to go high. And that kind of advanced me from 5th. I felt like I had a 5th locked in, but I was able to advance to 3 and collect a little more money. So, very good night.
Well, absolutely, a very good night overall for you. Very good, like you said, 24 hours. I mean, a really great payout for you over the last 3 races. And it kind of goes into, I know Austin asked you last night, we were talking to you about this throughout the course of the interviews last night, that this was kind of a change. We're back to seeing you on the podium, running up front, running consistent. This last 24 hours, I mean, what does this do for you going forward? You got your luck back. You've got, these top 3 finishes now 2 nights in a row. What does this do for you?
Man, I mean, it really sets the tempo going forward. We had a big power outage. I live just outside Charleston, West Virginia. We had a big storm Tuesday night, so we were without power for multiple days, and was fortunate enough just to get going right before PGR kicked off. So that gave me a couple of days to kind of clear my mind, and I really think it did me some good, Dawson. I really do.
Well, it did you some good tonight. Second time, obviously, that you've been on the podium here tonight, Superspeedway Kingz. You're going away with a really nice payday. Before we let you go, celebrate and enjoy those winnings. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Oh, yeah, first and foremost, you up in the booth. Jimmy Crow, one of the best promoters out there going. Michael Trascaro, RC. Everybody over at McCullough Motorsports, Kanawha Valley Key and Fob, Will Jewelry and Loan, my sons Jackson and Carter, my fiance Brittany, and anybody else tuning in, man. Really appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Dawson.
Well, we look forward to seeing you as well. You got your fire back underneath you here over the last 2 days. Great 2 podium finishes. Congrats on the 3rd place run tonight, and we will see you soon.
Take care, Dawson.
John Mullahan in the 38. The 6 on the side of the truck tonight. He finished his 3rd. Brings us to the man who finished in the 2nd position tonight, and that is the 04 of Matt Lee. Matt, it's Dawson in the booth to get a copy.
Gotcha, Dawson.
Well, great run for you to kind of counter race 1. It felt like the luck wasn't really on your side there in the first race of tonight's doubleheader. Really strong showing in race 2. You came back stronger. You end up 2nd there at the end. You push Alex Hill all the way to the victory. take me through what was a crazy ending to this one.
Yeah, I really fought to get track position back, and once I did, it was, had to do everything I can not to give it back up. Been really tough getting wrecked a lot from the front last couple weeks, and, just good to have one finally go my way at the end, so.
Well, it certainly does go your way. I asked John Mullihan kind of the same question I'm going to ask you, and this feels like, a turning point. Like you said, getting wrecked up front quite a bit the last several days. Really, the luck just not been on your side in terms of where the wreck starts. Tonight, though, in the second race, you put it all together. And what does this kind of do for you going forward? It feels like you got some of that momentum back, and we're back to seeing you up front running well and now finishing well as well.
Yeah, I've absolutely been putting a lot of pressure to run up front more and, not lose for track position in silly spots. So, just more aggressive you get, better chance to put yourself, hopefully capitalize a little more.
Well, certainly a good run to capitalize on it tonight. Finishing second here in race number 2. A nice payday for you. Before we let you go and enjoy that, enjoy those winnings and celebrate a little bit. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, big shout out to Alex. Hell of a run by him. Cody. Kenny and Vince. It was a fun race for those guys. You guys are doing the broadcast. Jimmy for putting the race on for us. Martin Sports. Anyone looking for sim racing gloves, jerseys, anything like that, check them out. MartinSports96.com. Premier Setup Shop. That's about it.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to me for a second. Congratulations on a second place effort tonight, and we will see you very soon.
Thanks, Dawson.
Matt Lee in the 0-4. And that brings us to the man who, I'll tell you, he comes back from a long break, and he just has not missed a single beat. Well, he just deafened himself, so hopefully we'll give him a second, and we'll just talk this out for a minute. He took a long break, comes back and really just thrives and feels like he never missed a single beat. And that is the winner of tonight's race, the winner of last night's race, and the winner of now $100 extra as part of the bonus, Alex Hill. It's Dawson in the booth. You get a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, we asked you last night, how you got back to, this form that we saw you in before you took the break. I mean, really in good form now. You come out, perform well in both races. You win the second one, which means you get that little bit of extra payday. You're going home with about $350. I mean, first off, how does this one feel to run up front all night and get the victory at the end?
Yeah, it feels great, man. First off, I just want to thank JSR and Jimmy Crow for that extra $100 bonus. Racing was really good tonight throughout both races. Just try to stay at the front and keep that track position, man. Track position's king, and we did that tonight. We worked really well as a team, and we got the job done.
Well, the first race had a really good field. It felt like the second race almost even topped the first race in terms of the strength of field. How did you guys as a team, how did you as yourself attack the field that you were going against? You're racing against some of the best. How do you attack that? How do you game plan for it?
Yeah, it's really just maintaining your track position, keeping yourself, your teammates cool. I mean, there's a couple times where that third lane rolled. That's what we have to look out for. We weren't prepared enough for it, so just things to get better on in the future, but we'll work on it.
Well, it works for you tonight. A $350 total payday for you. You get the bonus after winning PGR last night. You win Superspeedway Kingz tonight here in race number 2. Before we let you go, celebrate and enjoy those big-time winnings. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank you to everyone at Dale Cup, Cody, Vicente, Matt Lee, and Kenny Brady. Thank you to all of them for being my teammates in this race. Thank you to you for broadcasting, and thank you for Jimmy. Thank you to Jimmy for putting this on.
And thanks to you for talking to us for a second. Congratulations on a big win tonight to join up with your big win last night. Go enjoy those winnings. Go celebrate, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Alex Hill for Dale Cup, the last driver in our post-race show here tonight, our post-race interviews, and that's going to just about do it for us as we try to momentarily get back up here. There we are. What a race. What a couple of races. I mean, the first time that the doubleheader for Superspeedway Kingz is broadcasted for both races, incredible stuff across both races. Great racing. Apologies for the technical issues. Technology's never perfect. It's never going to be. So unfortunate there. Got to watch most of this race. It was really incredible to watch some of the best from all sides of Superspeedway racing come together and put on a heck of a show. And if you did not enjoy those two races, I really don't know what to tell you. We'll be back for this next Friday. Both races will be broadcasted again next Friday, starting about 9:15. We'll have race 1. Starting about 10:45, we'll have race 2 right here on PGR eSports. Come back Monday night. We'll have some kind of race to the Dega Pros Little Guys Series. Unsure what that's going to be at this point. We should be live here on PGR eSports. I know we're going to have some kind of off-week festivities for you to get prepared for the championship race. Tuesday night, Thunder is back next week in the Xfinity Series cars. Join myself and Austin on the call for that one. Thursday night next week, the PGR Intimidator Superspeedway Series is back here on PGR eSports as well. We are in the ARCA cars next week. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's one you won't want to miss as we, again, tackle a new car, something we've been doing a lot on Thursday nights. And, again, we'll be back here next week for both races of Jimmy Crow's Superspeedway Kingz. I hope you all enjoyed here tonight. I know I enjoyed it myself. Until next time, everybody have a great night, and we will see you soon on PGR eSports.